What's up, guys? Welcome back to the studios. Locke here. If you're new, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into locking down some content. We got Professor X looking shiny with his bald head and his rascal scooter. We're talking about support characters today. Shout out to Abe for suggesting this video. Just want to give him a shout out. It was a great suggestion, so I decided to go ahead and do it. So thanks for the suggestion, bro. So let's jump into it. We're going to talk about teams. I'm going to run through these. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because there's so many good supports in the game. So I'm just going to run through the free-to-play first, and then I'll run through the premium ones last. And then I have a number one that I will leave to the very, very end for a specific reason. I'm not going to go into great detail over each individual character. So I'm just going to give you a quick synapse of what most of these supports are going to be or what they're going to do, right? Okay, so supports in this game, they're going to increase damage to heroes, and they're going to increase damage to villains, or they're going to increase damage to just heroes, or they're going to just increase damage to just villains, or they're going to increase defense, etc., etc. Some are going to be, like I said, hero or villain specific. Some of them will only work with specific teams. Some will work with anybody and everybody. Some will work with just element types. Some will work with specifically just one element. It's going to vary. But at the end of the day, many of these characters are great pickups. They're going to help bolster your damage, increase your defense, boost your HP, your survivability, and in all game modes for the most part. So let's go ahead and jump into it and take a look at what we got here for our supports. Again, just keep in mind of you know, that I'm just going to kind of run through these and take notes if you want. Write them down, you know, come back to the video, pause, however you want to do it. Just take note of these characters. That way, especially if you're new, you know which characters you need to work on and aim for first, because they are going to help you a lot. Anyways, let's go to the front of the list here. Let me run through these free characters first, the free-to-play characters first. Now, mind you, this isn't going to incorporate uniforms. You, even though the character may be free-to-play, you may or may not have to buy a uniform to get the specific support ability. And I'll take a moment to stop and explain that when we come to those specific characters. Okay. All right. Let me go all the way to the bottom. Okay. Let's see. Who do we got here? And mind you, I'm doing this on the fly, so I don't like to practice before a video. I just do a video and that's what you get, right? So I'm doing this right along with you. Free characters. Ooh, nope, not her. Weapon Hex. She's gonna she doesn't have a support ability per se, but her defense down is very vital for one-shots in the game. So make sure you work on her. You can farm her from Dimension Mission. Yes, she's a X-Gene Stud character, but you can farm her from DRX. So I do consider her free to play. Let's see, scrolling. We got Hela. She has a 15 damage and damage decrease to hero types and for hero types, or well, against hero types rather. It's 15 damage to heroes and reduces damage received from heroes by 15%. You do need the uniform for it. It is a uniform ability. Continuing along, Shuri, you don't need a uniform for. She is a great support, free to play. She's going to give you a 1535 to heroes, I believe. 4535 versus supervillains. And where's our other guy? Coulson, again, you don't need a uniform for. He's going to give you a 45-15 versus villains with a 20% critical rate increase. Okay. We have Green Goblin. He's going to be specific to Dark Avengers. He's going to give you a 40-40 to heroes and villains, but you have to have the Dark Avengers tag. We've got Ancient One. Doesn't matter of the uniform or whether you have one or not. She's going to give you a 25% dodge increased dodge rate, or ignore target's dodge rate, and 25% to element damage, uniform or not. So Ghost Rider, Human Torch, Storm, Thor, Ancient One's going to increase them. We got Ben Grimm. He's going to be a support for Fantastic Four. 40% increase of all attacks, reflect, and a few other things. Keep him in mind as well. We got regular She-Hulk. She is going to, it's on her leadership. She is going to give you a 60% damage to male type characters. So it won't work versus Scarlet Witch or Proxima or Supergiant and World Boss Ultimate. Who else do we got in here? Free to play, free to play, free to play. We got Taskmaster. You can get him 6 stars from Legend Battle. Get his mastery up and tier 2 him, or even tier 1. It's on his uniform. So you are going to have to pick up his uniform for it, but he's going to give you a 40-40 to heroes and villains. We got Storm. You are going to need her uniform for this, because it is on her passive, but it's the uniform that changes the passive. It's going to increase element damage to all elements by 35%. So Beta Ray Bill, Thor, Ghost Rider, Torch, going to help you out a lot. Cyclops. I would suggest getting the uniform for him, but his is ambient radiation, free to play, 30% increase of energy attack. Or you can, if you don't have the uniform, he's still going to give you a 10% increase attack on that skill. You got Medusa. Medusa is going to also need this uniform, but she has a, where is it? Tier 1 passive. It's in Human Allies. Going to give you a 45% damage increase to supervillains. So she can self-lead and self-support herself. Continuing. I'm looking as we're going, guys. I like to be raw when I do videos. So we got Jessica Jones. She's kind of a 50-50 thing. She has hers on her uniform ability. Applies to defenders' allies. And she also has T1 passive down here. It also applies to defenders' allies. 50% increase all attack and 100% chance to become immune to mind damage. Great support as well. We got Groot. Doesn't matter which uniform you do, Baby Groot or Christmas Groot. The Bloom effect, 25% rate when hit, applies to all allies, 20% recovery of max HP. Great for those characters who tend to die a lot at times. But if you're a newer player doing World Boss Ultimate and such. I do believe that's all of the free-to-play regular support characters. Unless I'm missing one. Or 2. Or maybe 10, who knows? Or maybe none, maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like... oh, nope, got one more. Almost forgot about him. Where is he? Did I pass him already? Couldn't have, could I? I guess I did pass him. He's way back over here somewhere. There he goes. Scarlet Spider. His is gonna, again, applies with allies with spider sense, increase damage up to heroes, villains, and gives you skill damage bonus damage. Make sure you pick that up as well. And I think that was the last one. Because I'm even thinking off the top of my head. Actually, Ebony Maw, but you are going to need his uniform for this. His uniform effects to all allies increase damage dealt and decreases damage received from universal types. So you are going to need you are going to need a uniform for him as well. But I think that covers all the free-to-play supports. Now let's go through the premium supports real quick. Try not to spend a whole lot of time on this. We got Dazzler. It's her T2 passive. Mutant allies, ignore dodge rate 70% and increases boss damage to boss type 65. Great support. We've got Phyla. Now you can farm her in the epic quest, but it is very tedious because it's all shifter bios, so that's why I included her as a premium character here. Applies to universal types, increase 30% of attack and skill damage bonus damage. Another great support. We've got Red She-Hulk. She's kind of like a double leadership passive. This tier 1 passive will applies to all allies once you tier 2 her, and it'll be a 30% and 10% decrease all damage received, I believe. Let me double check that just to make sure. I know it applies to all allies. I'm double checking the numbers. Yep, 30% increase to HP and decreases all damage received 10% to all allies once you tier 2 her. As well as her leadership. Great for fire damage characters. Ghost Rider, Torch. Fire damage increased by 65 and another 25% increase. So with her on the team, you're looking at reduced damage 10%. You're looking at a 65% damage increase and a 55% increase to HP. Great for survival and such for your characters. Continuing on, we got Ghost Panther, also a premium character. He's going to give you that 45-15 to damage dealt to supervillains and a 50% fire damage increase, as well as his leadership, giving you a critical rate increase and increases fire damage 30%. So keep that in mind. He's a great support for Ghost Rider, Torch, things like that. We got White Fox. This is going to apply to leadership tag characters only, and is only going to apply to supervillains. Going to give you a 60% damage increase to supervillains. It's going to be good for characters like Sharon and Ghost Rider. Continue, we got Nick Fury. He's top staple leadership in the game. He's a double leadership and support. Applies to hero allies. Increases damage dealt to supervillain faction by 55%. Super armor. All defense 30% and immunity to incapacitation. Then his leadership is to all heroes, 50% increase to all attack. It's not going to be 50% if you don't have the uniform. Mind you, this is with uniform. And then he also has a buff on his 5 that applies as well, which I believe is a 50%. Yeah, it's I guess it's an 80% increase here. The frenzy buff is transferable. You lead with Nick, run out with him, pop the 5, switch to a different character, and they will get that frenzy buff that you see there. So it is transferable as well. So he has not only a leadership support, but he also has a support, passive support, and then he has another support on his 5 skill. Great character. Though he is premium. Continuing on, I forgot to mention Wasp, honorable mention for her debuff passive. Very good for timeline battle world AC, things like that. Continuing on here. Sorry, again, I'm looking at my character. I have so many characters in here that I have to actually just take a minute to look. That way I can do, we got Mystique, of course. Hers is basically Taskmaster's uniform ability, but it's on a passive. Except for it gives you a little 5% increase towards damaging superheroes. Who else do we got in here? Of course, we got Valkyrie up there. But I think I'm coming to the end here. Yeah, we're at the end here. So we got Valkyrie here. She's basically like a Shuri. With ignores target's dodge rate included. That stat is only going to be with the uniform, though. It's going to be 45 and 15 for the supervillain damage and damage received without a uniform. That's it. With the uniform, it's 50 and 25, and then you get the ignore target's dodge rate by 30% with the uniform. So I would, if you have this character and you're going to tier 2 them, or they're already tier 2 and you don't have a uniform, pick this uniform up. It's going to be great versus null. Alright, and that's going to be everybody. That's all of them. Except for the last one. And that's going to be my man Colossus here. He is Lord Colo #1. And that's simply because he's a staple in almost every game mode. He's going to turn any team into a little bit more tanky characters, just being on the team because of P-Order's will. Self-explanatory. If you don't know about Colo, then go learn about Colo. He's Lord Colossus. He's the one, the only, and he's gonna make you tanky. And he is a staple for that, so that's why I have him at the top of the list for support characters. And I won't take that from him. He's earned that. He's the one, right? He's the one. I don't know if I believe I did mention Volstagg. For those of you, I consider him a hidden support, right? It may look funny, but sorry to throw you under the bus here, Carl. I know you're like Mad Dog in Timeline Battle right now, but anybody in PvP or AC, Timeline Battle or AC, if they're running a Molecule Man leadership, you can't use Colo, you can't use any supports, but you can use this man. He's like a baby Colo. He completely ignores Molecule Man's leadership because Molecule Man's leadership applies to hero faction and supervillain faction. And this applies to hero allies on your team. I've tested it, I've tried it multiple times, and it works. So if you're versus a team with Molecule Man as a leadership, come get Volstagg. He's baby Colo. Very underrated support. Very, very underrated. And that's my list for support characters. Like I said, take notes. If you need to, rewind, double check. But any of these supports will help you progress through the game, help you maybe push past a limit that you've hit or a wall that you've hit, and help you. And they'll definitely help your account in the long run for almost all content. So best of luck collecting, picking up these characters, collecting the uniforms if you're doing that, and happy gaming. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment down below. Tell me what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. This is Locke signing out. Have a good one.